or don't move the slides. So myself, Divya, I'll be handling Unix programming, okay, for your class. This is the subject code 18CS56. So before starting with the subject, let us understand what is the outcome of this course. Okay. What you're going to learn from this course. Okay. So there are five course outcomes. So first thing you'll be learning about the Unix basic commands. Okay, what is the features of commands? Okay. Next, you will be studying what are the files you have in Unix and how you can give the permissions for the files. Okay, how you can write the shell programs. Okay. Next, you will be studying about environment of Unix process, okay, IPC methods, okay, and inter-process communication facilities. You can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible.
Okay. Okay. So this you might be knowing. Okay. The evaluation scheme, how your internal evaluation is done. Okay. So yeah, IA will be conducted for 50 marks and it will be converted for 30 marks and 10 marks you have for components. Okay. And coming to the textbook, you have 3 textbooks. Okay. Prescribed textbooks and 2 reference book you have. Okay. All 3 books are available in the library. Okay. So yeah. So this is just a before starting with the actual syllabus. Okay, let us understand some basic concepts. So you all already studied what is an operating system, correct? So what is an operating system? So you have two parts in the system. One is hardware, another one is software. Basically, there are two parts, hardware and software. So operating system comes under software. So it is a software which manages your computer hardware. Okay, and it will provide one convenient environment for running the programs. Okay, so it will control your computer hardwares. So it acts as an interface between the program and the hardware resources. Okay. So you have already studied operating system, correct? Now here we will be studying Unix programming. Okay, you have used so many operating systems, correct? Unix operating system, Windows operating system, Linux operating system, and few might have used DOS and Mac operating system. So here we will be studying one such operating system, that is Unix operating system. Okay, so what are the features or services that are offered by an operating system? So what is the job of an operating system? So most of you might be having either Linux or Windows operating system. So what it does, it will control or schedule multiple programs. So you'll be having so many programs running in the system, correct? Maybe you are browsing or you are sending a mail to your friend or you are typing a document. So you'll be doing multiple tasks. So who will take care of this multiple task scheduling? So that is done by the operating system. Memory management. Next is memory management. How much to allocate for each programs? Okay, when to release the memory? So all these things will be taken care by the operating system. Next one is hardware. Who will control the hardware? That is also done by the operating system. Okay, connecting to the printer. Okay, connecting to the scanner. Okay, when you go for pen drive. Okay, so who will detect the pen drive? So that is done by the operating system. Okay, and whenever something goes wrong, okay, maybe something goes wrong, an error or something. So in that case, the reporting of the errors also done by the operating system. Okay. So this is basic thing about operating system. Okay. Now coming to the actual syllabus, what is a Unix? Okay, what is Unix? Okay. So Unix, it is built in late 60s. Okay, in late 60s and 70s, it was developed by Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie. Have you heard about Dennis Ritchie? Huh? Dennis Ritchie.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
He developed which language? He invented which
C.
language?
C.
Uh, C
C
language.
programming.
Correct. He is a person who invented C
C.
language. Okay. So, and one more thing you have to remember, your entire Unix operating system is written in C language. Okay. The entire Unix operating system is written in C language. So these are the two persons who invented Unix language. So Unix is also a computer operating system, just like your Linux or Windows. Okay, Unix is also a computer operating system. Okay, so base software that controls the computer system and its peripherals. Okay, and to know more about Unix, it is a multi-user, multi-processing, and portable operating system. Okay, what do you mean by multi-user? You can see a diagram over here. Okay, so in this diagram, you can see there are three terminals. Okay, terminals is nothing but you can think it is a monitor. Okay, there is a three monitor and one single operating system you can have. You can have single Linux operating system. Okay, and this single Linux operating system can be used by three persons. Okay, three-person can use the operating system at the same time. So that is a speciality of your Unix operating system. It is a multi-user operating system. Okay, you can see how the time is shared between these three users. So for example, 1 second it is gone, it is used by user A. Next second it is used by user B. So on. Okay, the time is shared between the multiple users. So it is a multi-user operating system. Okay, you can have two types of operating system. Okay, one is single user operating system, another one is multi-user operating system. So single user operating system means it is used by a single person. So one operating system is dedicated for only a single person. But when it comes to multi operating system, so multiple person can use the same operating system. So that is Unix multi-operating, multi-user, multi-processing operating system. Okay. Coming to the version or variants of Unix. Okay, so Unix variants. So we have different versions of Unix. You can see here A bar UX, AIX. So which is developed by different companies: Apple, IBM, ANTT Laboratory, Sun Microsoft, Solaris. You might have heard about these few operating systems. Okay, so these all are Unix versions, okay, variants of Unix operating systems. And Unix is not free operating system. Okay, when it comes to Linux, Linux it is a open source free operating system. Okay, so whatever we are using in our lab, right, it is a Linux operating system. Okay, it is also a family of Unix. Okay, it also comes under Unix. Okay, but Linux and Unix, they are separate different operating systems. Linux is free operating system, whereas you come to Unix, it is not a partially free operating system. Okay, it is not freely available. Okay, you need to pay to get the operating system. Next, okay, just to know about Linux operating system. So Linux is started in the year of 1991. You can see the year difference between Linux and Unix. Unix started in 60s and 17. Okay, but whereas Linux, it started in 1991. Okay, so Linux is a free operating system. It is based on Unix standards. Okay, so Linux comes under Unix. So it is free operating system. It is based on Unix standards. Okay, coming to the versions of Linux, we have Ubuntu Linux, okay, Fedora. So these are different. You can see in our lab we use Ubuntu, correct? Isn't it? In the C lab and all, we have used Ubuntu operating system, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
We have used Ubuntu operating system. So it comes under Linux. Okay, it is not Unix operating system. It is Linux operating system. So previous to Ubuntu, we were using Fedora in the lab here. Okay, so we were using Linux Fedora operating system. Okay, so these are different versions of Linux operating system. Linux and Unix, okay, the working is almost same. Okay, almost they are similar. Okay. Next, what you have to understand is what is shell script or shell programming. Okay, because here in your syllabus they have given Unix programming, correct? So Unix programming is nothing but it is shell programming, or you can tell simply shell script. Okay, what is a shell script? Okay, it is a text file. Okay, same like here C program, you can write a file that is called as a shell script. Okay, for time being, don't worry much about this. Okay, so shell script is a text file that contains sequence of commands for your Unix based operating system. Okay, you are creating a file, and inside that you are writing different commands. Okay, Unix commands. Okay, I think you have used few commands in the laboratory, correct? While executing the C program, you have used ls commands, isn't it? ls command stands for what? ls command.
List.
For listing the files, we have used ls commands, right? Same way we have used other commands like cd, correct? cd command. Huh? Okay. So change directory, a cd command for changing the directory. So your shell script is nothing but it is a file. Okay, it's like a text file. Inside that you will be having sequence of commands. Okay, different commands. So to name few, I have told ls command, cd commands, so echo command. So these are the commands. You will be writing the program using those commands. Okay, so that file you call it as a shell script. Okay, so shell script is a computer program designed to be run under Unix shell. Okay, if you want to run the program on Unix operating system, then you have to create a text file. That text file is called as a shell program or shell script. Okay, so these are some basic information before we start with the module. Okay, so coming to the module 1. Okay, so this is the syllabus of your first module. Okay, which almost include 4 chapters. Okay. So starting with the first one, so let us start with the first topic. Okay, what do you mean by Unix operating system, or what are the components that we have under Unix operating system? Very important question. Okay, in the perspective of your exam. Okay, so in this diagram you can see we have the core part of any operating system is hardware. Okay, we'll be having different hardwares, memory. Okay, so above that we have kernel. Okay, so this is the core of the Unix operating system. Okay, or in general we can call kernel is an operating system. Okay, so kernel we have. Okay, I'll tell more about this later. Next, above that we have shell. Okay, so for this shell, the user will give different commands. Okay, the user will give different commands. So these are the different commands you can see here: ls command, sort command, sed, who, ps, okay, cp. So these are the different commands. Okay, so using these commands, you will be writing the shell program. Okay, to this shell, you will be writing the program which then interacts with the kernel. Okay, and it will give the output to the user. Okay, so user will write the shell script. Okay, he will write the shell script. So that will have different commands. You can see different commands. Okay, and the shell will interact with the kernel and it will give the output to the user. Okay, so very important diagram. Okay, so when you write this question in the exam, when you answer, so write the diagram neatly. Okay, so what is a kernel? Okay, so kernel, it is called as a core or heart of the operating system. Okay, so in Unix operating system, the kernel is called as core or it is called as heart of the operating system. Okay, and it has collection of routines. So what the kernel consists of? So it has collection of routines, collection of programs, modules. Okay, or we call it as functions. Okay, which is written in C. Okay, so we'll be having different functions which is written in C. Then kernel interacts with the machine hardware. So the kernel is the one which will interact with the hardware. Okay, it is loaded into memory when the system is booted. So you know, right, the system booting, or we start the system, we call the system is booting. So at that time, the kernel is loaded into the memory. When you start the system, the kernel will be loaded into the memory and it will communicate directly with the hardware. Okay, so this is one of the core of Unix operating system. So any job, if you want to do, you have to, the user had to write the program and that program need to interact with this kernel before giving the output. Okay. Next we have user program. So here we have users, at the end we have users. Okay. So users will write the programs that need to access the hardware. Okay, so user will write the program and that need to access the hardware. So user program cannot directly interact with the hardware, but it will take the service of what? Kernel. Okay, so in the diagram itself you can see clearly between the user program and the hardware
Ma'am,
we have,
slides are not visible.
it is not visible.
No.
What about now? What about now?
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Can you see now?
Visible.
Yes?
No, ma'am.
No?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Visible.
Yes, ma'am.
You can see, right?
Visible.
So user program, it will interact with the hardware with the help of kernel. Okay. Now to interact with the kernel, okay. So user program to interact with this kernel, so we will make use of system calls. Have you heard about system calls in the operating system? System calls. Okay. So user program, it will interact with the kernel with the help of system calls. So system calls is nothing but they are set of functions. Okay. So user program to interact with the kernel, it will make use of system calls. So these are the words you have to remember. Okay. So what is the job of a kernel? So what it will do? So it will manages the system's memory. It will schedule the processes. Okay. So you have already studied about processes, right, in the operating system. So process, it's a program under execution. Whenever we start any program, the process will be started. So it will schedule the process and it also decides about the priority. So which task has to be done first, which task has to be done next. So all this will be controlled by the kernel. Okay. So next coming to the shell. Okay. So there are two important agencies or two important parts in this architecture. One is kernel, another one is shell. Okay. So next one is shell. So it will perform the role of command interpreter. Okay. So it will perform the role of command interpreter. So using this shell, the user will enter the command. Okay. So it is like your terminal. You have used a terminal, correct? Correct. You have used a terminal. So it is called as a command interpreter, which will accept the command from the user. Okay. Just an example. See here. See, if you are using Ubuntu, you can open the terminal and you can run the commands. Okay. Suppose if you are using Windows, okay. Suppose if you are using Windows and if you want to run Unix commands, okay, you can make use of online resources. Okay. Online tools for running the Unix commands is available. So I'll be using one. Okay, this is the one which I'll be using for running the command. Can you see the screen? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So
Yes, ma'am.
here you can see a dollar symbol, correct? So this is called as a command prompt. Okay, this is called as command prompt. So this is like a shell. Okay, so it will take the command. Okay, so I'll writing one command ls. Okay, so when I type the command ls, it is listing the files, correct? So what is this ls? So actually, this ls is a command, but for this ls, we will be having a file with the name ls in the Unix. Okay, inside Unix operating system, you will be having a file with the name ls. Okay, so when you type ls, the Unix operating system will call that file ls. Okay, so that file will execute and it will give you the output. So inside that ls file, you will be having the program. Okay, you will be having the program. So that program will give you the output. So what is that program? That program is written for listing the files. Okay, similarly when I write echo, okay, so echo hi. I have written echo hi. So it will display the message whatever I have written next to echo. Okay, so this is like a terminal. Okay, so you can make use of online terminals for executing the commands. For practicing, if you have Windows operating system, you can go for this online. You just type online command execution in Unix. Okay, it will give some list of uh, applications or list of softwares. Okay, you can just select one of this. Okay. So shell performs the role of a command interpreter. So it will take the command. So it acts as an interface between the user and the kernel. Okay. Now whatever I have written, right, ls. So that is nothing but it is a command interpreter. It will take the command from user. From me, it is taking the command ls and it is giving to the kernel. Okay. Then kernel will execute that and it will search that particular file. Okay, ls file, and it will give the output to the user. Okay, clear, right? Yes. So when I type here ls, so kernel will search for the file ls. Okay, and it will execute that file and it will give the output and it will show the result to the user. Okay, so kernel is the core of the operating system. It is responsible for running any commands. It gathers input from you. Okay, it will take the input from user. So here ls. Okay, and it executes the program based on that input. Okay, I have given ls as input. It will execute the particular program and based on the input. Okay, and it will give the output to the user. A shell is an environment in which we can run the command programs and shell scripts. Okay, so here you can run not only commands, you can create programs. Okay, you can write programs as like you use a C language for writing the program. Okay, same way you can do different tasks by using this shell program. Okay, for example, you have studied reversing the number, correct? In C you have studied reversing the number. So if you want to use shell script you can write using command shell script. You can write the program for reversing the number and you can see the output. Okay, so you can write programs, okay, and shell scripts. Okay, coming to the shell, there are different flavors of shells. So as like operating system, okay, we have different operating systems, correct? Same way, we have different types of shells. Okay, so these are the different types of shell. Okay, Bourne shell, okay, corn shell, CH shell, bash shell. So these are the different types of shell. Okay. Now, if you want to see which shell your program, your operating system or your terminal is using, you can just type this command. Okay, I'll just show you. Here. I'll be typing this command. Can you see this? It is showing the path. It is using bash shell. Okay, so see here, there are different types of shell. You can see here. So this is the shell that the particular, now whatever the program I am running, right, your terminal, it is using which shell, bash shell it is using. Okay, so you can see which shell your particular operating system is using by using this command echo dollar shell. Okay, I can see here if I type if I type it is in small letter, okay, it is not giving the output, correct? So you have to understand that your commands are case sensitive. Okay, the commands are case sensitive. If I write capital S, L and S, see here, I have written capital L and small letter S. For listing the file, I have used capital S and capital letter L and small letter S. Now it is showing command not found. Okay, because why? The kernel will be searching for a file with the name this capital L and small letter S. But we have which file? We have only the file with the name small letter L and S. Okay, so this file is not available. Okay, capital letter L and small letter S, that file is not available. So it is showing the command not found. Okay, so one thing you have to remember, whatever the command that you write in the exam, okay, or in the terminal, okay, it is a case sensitive. Okay, so you have to write the proper, either in capital letter or in the small letter, you have to write in the proper format. Okay, so these are the different shell we have. Okay. So enter the command to the keyboard. Okay. If any special character is found in the command line, then rebuild and communicate with the kernel. Okay. For example, I am typing like this dollar echo Unix. Okay. So I have left so many space between this, correct? So echo command, it is one of the command which is used for printing. Okay. So printing echo Unix space and I have written shell. Okay, so what is output? Whatever the recurring space, okay, which I have given, it will not be displayed. Okay, the command will remove all these special characters, okay, and it will rebuild and it will display the output. Okay, so whatever the extra space I have given, it will be removed and it will display the output. Now Unix shell, okay, it will remove the space and it will just display Unix shell. Okay, so next, coming to the next one, file. So this one, it is very simple, you have already studied. Okay, what is a file? Okay, what you have to understand here is how the files are arranged. Okay, how the files is arranged in Unix operating system. So all the files are flat files. Okay, and it will be having sequence of bytes, correct? Right, your file, it will show it is 200 KB. KB is 200 k bytes. Okay, so it will be having sequence of bytes. Okay, all the files are arranged in the form of a tree. Okay, you can see one example here. Okay, all the files are arranged in the form of a tree. When you click under my computer, it will open this. Okay, similarly, when you click on C drive, it will open program files. Okay, again under program files, you'll be having so many files. Okay, so all the same as your Windows. Okay, even in Windows, we go for tree architecture. Okay, same way in the Unix also, files are stored in tree architecture. Okay, so each node is a directory. Okay, so remember, we usually use the term folder, correct? We use a folder, but Unix, we follow the term directory. Okay, so all this we call it as directories, we don't call folders. Okay, so this is a file. Okay, word file. Okay, image file. Okay, but these are called as directories, they are not called as folders. In the textbook in or in further styles we'll be referring the word directory. So directory is nothing but it is a folder. Okay, and each directory in turn consists of number of files or directories. Okay, you can see here under teaching you have three two directories and one file. Okay, in turn it can have number of files or directories. Okay, and next one is process. Okay, so process is basically a program in under execution. Okay, so whenever you create any file, okay, whenever you create any file, the process will be created. Okay, and the process will perform all the tasks mentioned in the program. Okay, suppose if you are opening a text file, okay, you are creating a text file. Okay, for that text file a process will be created, and the process is responsible for executing that text file. Okay, we have already studied about process. Okay, moving on to the next one, system calls. Okay, what is a system call? Okay, I have already said, okay, why we need system call. In the previous slide, I have already mentioned. You can see the user program, if you want to communicate with the kernel, okay, it has to make use of system calls, correct? Now, what is a system call? It is a set of functions, okay, used by the program to communicate with the kernel. The programmer, the user programmer, okay, if you want to communicate with the kernel, you will be making use of system calls. Yeah. I think you have heard about the system calls like read, write, open, close system calls. Correct. So it is like a function. Okay. It will be having a name. Okay. Followed by that open bracket and closing bracket. So we are calling read system call. Okay. Write system call. Okay. So if the user programs want to write something to the memory, okay, it can call write operation. Okay. So if the user program want to communicate with the kernel to write something to the memory, then write operation will be called or write system call will be called. Okay, similarly, if I want to open any device or file, okay, the user want to open a file, okay, then which system call will be called? Open system call will be called. Okay, same way you can give these two examples. Okay, so we are not studying much about system calls. Okay, system calls are nothing but the functions which are used by the user program to communicate with the kernels. Okay, so this is all about architecture of Unix operating system. Okay, so mainly you have to tell about what is kernel, okay, what is a shell, okay, okay, then about you have to mention what is system call, okay, then the arrangement, how the files will be stored, okay, in the tree-like structure, okay, and about the process. Okay, so this is all about system Unix architecture. Any doubt in this topic? Any doubt? Are you there? Any doubt in this topic?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is one of the important question. Okay, you can expect this question. It's been asked several times in the exam. Okay, very easy question. Okay, you have a neat diagram in the textbook. Okay, and you have to answer. You have to tell what is kernel, what is shell, a brief introduction about file and process and system calls. Okay. For 8 marks or 10 marks, you can expect this
Excuse me,
question.
ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Some cannot join the meeting. You haven't allowed them.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll show you a small example, okay, how you can create a shell script, okay, how you can write a shell program, okay. So in the coming modules, next modules, we'll be studying how to create the shell programs. Okay, I'll just give you a small idea about how to create the shell program. Okay, whenever you are creating a shell program, okay, open a notepad, okay, and you have to use the extension .sh. Okay, so whenever you are creating a shell program, you have to give the extension .sh. So I have already created a file, okay, with the name 2.sh. Okay, and this is what I have written inside that file. Okay, so the first line, I'll be telling that I'll be using, okay, bash shell. Okay, I'll be using. So you have seen there are 4 types of shells, right? So you have to mention what type of shell you are using. Okay, so I'll be using bash shell. Okay, most of the time, most Unix operating system, they go for bash shell. Okay, suppose if you are using other shell like corn shell, then you have to use a KSH. Okay, you'll be using KSH. Okay, so we'll be using bash shell with the extension .sh, and I have written a simple command or a simple program with the command echo. Okay, and I have written this text hello world. Okay, I have used hello world. Okay, now go for the terminal. Okay, go for the terminal and just type. Okay, so before executing the file, you have to give the permissions. Okay, you have to give the permissions for the file. So you have to give 077. So 077 is nothing but you are giving read, write and execution permission for that particular 2.sh file. Okay, 777 means read, write and execution permission. Okay, so more about the permission we will be studying later. Okay, for time being 077 means read, write and execution permission. Okay, and give the name of the file. Okay. So if everything is fine, you will get the next command prompt, dollar symbol command prompt, and then to execute the file, just go for sh, type the name of the file, sh2.sh. You can see we are getting the output hello world. Okay, so what is the output? Here inside that file, what you had echo command, correct? So you can have so many n number of commands inside this file. I have just written only one command to display the hello world. So when you execute that file, you will be getting this output. Is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So okay, you can practice. Okay, just to practice, you will be getting a few shell scripts. Okay, online you can search for few shell scripts. Okay, and you can execute and check the output. Okay, so practice few commands. Okay, moving on to the next one. So Unix structure. Okay, so the next topic is Unix structure. Okay. So this is almost the same as the previous. Okay, so whatever you have studied about kernel and shell. Okay, because in Unix structure you will be explaining 4 components. Okay, one is kernel, shell, utilities and application programs. So these 4 topics will be explaining in Unix structure. Now you can see you have already studied about the topic of kernel and shell in the previous topic, correct? In architecture. The same thing, whatever you have studied, you can write even here. Okay. Okay. So in this diagram you can see, okay, the user will communicate with the kernel, okay, with the help of shell terminal, okay, by writing the commands. So while writing the commands, the shell will be making use of 2 files. One is utilities, and it will be making use of application program. Okay, utilities and application programs. Okay, and shell will communicate with the kernel, and kernel will make use of the hardware and give the output to the user. So shell, I mean, first thing is kernel. Okay. So whatever you have studied, whatever I have explained in the previous slides, the same thing you can write over here. It is responsible for managing the resources, okay, processes. Okay. It is a core of the operating system. So same thing, explanation you can write over here. Okay. Same thing when it comes to shell, it is a command interpreter where you can write the commands, okay, and it will get executed and it will show the output. Okay, same explanation. Okay, if the command requires utility, okay, you can see here when you're running the command, okay, for example ls command, if you're writing ls command, okay, so that ls command will be stored here in the utilities. Okay, so utilities are nothing but it is a file. Okay, so when you're running the command, it will make use of the utility. So the shell will request the kernel to execute the utilities. Okay. So when you're executing the ls command, okay, so you will tell the shell will tell the kernel to execute the ls command. But where the files are there in the utilities. Okay. So the shell will request the kernel to execute the utilities. Okay. So utilities will have all the command files. Okay. If the command requires application programs, the shell requests that, and kernel will run that. Okay, I shall tell more about that. Okay. So next, the same explanation. Okay, different types of shells. Okay, Bourne shell. Okay, it is developed by Steve Bourne. Okay, in AT and T laboratory. Okay, and you can see here we have a version of Bourne which we call it as Bash. Okay, this is what we have used Bash shell, and that is why we are getting the command prompt in dollar. Okay, we are getting in command prompt in dollar, correct? So if you are using Bash shell, then the command prompt is dollar. Okay. Similarly, if you go for C shell, okay, it is started by Bill Joy. Okay, and the command prompt what you get is percentage. Instead of dollar, we'll be getting percentage. Okay, and the same way if you are going for corn shell, okay, we'll be getting dollar symbol. Okay, so there are 2 major parts of shell. Okay, the first job of shell is to interpret. Okay, to read the command. What is the job of a shell? It will read the command, and to execute that command, it will take the help of the kernel. Okay. Second part is programming facilities. You can write the command shell programs, right? Just now I have written a simple program and I have executed and I showed you, right? Same way you can also write the shell programs. So 2 things you can do. Either you can execute the command, for example ls command, okay, echo command you can execute, or else you can write the program also. Okay, with the extension .sh, you can write the program and you can execute the program. Okay, so this is what the program I just executed. Next one is utility. What is utility? So shell, kernel, and next one is utility. So utility is a standard Unix program that provides support process for users. Okay, 3 common utilities are text editor, okay, search program, plot programs. Okay, some of the examples for utilities. What are the utilities? Okay, so when you are executing the program or executing a command, we'll be using some text editors, correct? We have used in the lab VI. We remember VI editor, correct, right? VI editor in the lab, we have used VI. So this VI editor, okay, so where it will be available? It is available in the utilities. Okay, so all these editors are available in the utilities. Same way, all the least utility displays the files that resides on the disk. Okay, similarly, all the command files are also available in the utilities. Okay, and next coming to the applications. Okay, so applications are the programs. So this will not be using. So they are written by the system administrators. Okay, and professional programmers make use of this application programs. Okay, so they are the extended capability of the system. So for us, we will not be using this application program while running the commands. Okay, so this utility is very important. Okay, utilities will be having all the files. Okay, all the editors. Okay, which is helpful for executing the commands. So, so this is all about Unix structure. Okay, so Unix structure has got kernel, shell explanation, and you have to explain about utilities. Okay, utilities are nothing but the files. Okay, all command files. Okay, ls file, echo files, cd files, all the files and editors will be available here. Okay, in utilities. Next one is application program. Application programs are used by the system administrators. Okay, for managing your Unix operating system. Okay, so this is all about Unix structure. Okay, so when they ask in the exam, explain Unix structure, you have to draw this diagram. Okay, and you have to explain this four topics. Okay, four components. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Any doubt in Unix structure? Any doubt?
No,
ma'am.
Okay. So today we have discussed about Unix architecture and Unix structures. So this is all for today. Okay. So thank you for joining the session. Okay, you can disconnect. Okay. Thank you.